Alright, good morning. It is 6 in the morning. I am at Yosemite National Park. I am in the Bridalveil Creek Campground. It's usually first come first serve kind of campground, but this year's reservation only, so I got a 4-night 5-day reservation here, and it is our first morning here. We actually drove in yesterday, but there wasn't really anything interesting we did except set up camp and go to the store. So today we are going to attempt Yosemite Point as a hike. It is it's not that long, but it's actually kind of also a brutal hike because there's a lot of climbing. So I'm expecting we'll take a lot of breaks, and it's also going to be kind of hot. So we were trying to start the hike by 6 in the morning, but obviously I'm still at camp. We're wrapping it up. I'm gonna finish packing my bag and then go to the bathroom. I'm probably not going to need this puffy once we actually start the hike. This campground's also at 7,000 feet elevation, so it's a little bit cooler here than the hike start. Hopefully things go well. The hike will pass Columbia Rock, Upper Yosemite Falls, and then get up to the Yosemite Point part, which apparently has really cool views. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to like all the hiking up, but I should be prepared for the elevation and the climb based on all the climbs that I've did. That was really the whole point of the hiking, was to train for the Yosemite hikes. So we're doing the big one, our first full day here. So wish us luck. Alright, I am 5.79 miles into my hike, and I am so glad I bought this umbrella. It's really helped in this last stretch because there was not been shade. Let me show you the view. So the falls up there somewhere, so we still gotta climb up to there, but we started off where you see those cars. That's the elevation we started at. So it's almost noon right now. We're just trying to survive the heat. I think we'll make it. There's a creek up there. We can get more water. I made it! Upper Yosemite Falls overlook. I am in Upper Yosemite Falls overlook right now, and it was dicey getting up down here, I guess. I got to the top, and then there was an overlook trail, and it was pretty scary, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm on the safe, quote-unquote, part right now. I'm gonna show you. So this is the end of the the overlook, I guess. I'm just gonna hold on to my phone with both hands. I guess, maybe this would be more impressive, but you can still see sort of the water, sort of. Yeah. So there's actually like a pool behind this rock thingy here. Check out the view. So yeah, this is, I'm here by myself because it's actually, I was a little scared. I was a lot scared, let's just say that, to get here. It's pretty scary, but I'm glad I made it. I don't think I'm gonna go to Yosemite Point because I think just this was a challenge for today. I'm glad I get to enjoy this view. My hiking partner didn't come with me, but that's okay. Like I'm not sure I should have come. Like that was kind of a scary climb. I'm gonna try to see if I can find a view to show you. All right, so see those handrails? Those are on the opposite side of the ledge from you. So there's a stretch like that. This is not for the faint of heart. I'm climbing back up now, and I shortened my hiking poles because they were becoming a liability. So I want both hands gripping for dear life on this. There's like a swimming hole here, but I don't know how the heck you get down there. Apparently you're supposed to like wiggle down that way, and then I don't know. There's no way. Still more uphill even when we're heading down. Impression so far, the umbrella's MVP at keeping the heat off, so I think I'll bring it again. It's just when things get windy, I have to make sure to put it away like this so it doesn't blow away. It's getting hotter as we descend because it's like high 90s in the valley. I'm just trying to keep cool. It is 10.3 miles into the hike and it's kicking my butt. There's another, I don't know how long, uphill until we get to the downhill part. Maybe mile and a half away from the bottom. I'm exhausted. It is the second full day of the Yosemite trip, and today we're riding bikes. So totally a battle just even getting a bike. We went to Curry Village first. All the bikes had been rented out, so we had to go to Yosemite Lodge to get the last two bikes at 10:15 in the morning. So we had a late start because we had a really hard hike yesterday. So we're just biking around. It's really hot, but we're just going through, looking at the sights, taking a lot of breaks. It's actually kind of nice. It's easier to see things inside the park when you're on a bike than when you're in a car. So we're in Happy Isles right now, refilling water. The plan is just to take the valley loop and ride whatever bike trails they have, because it's actually not a very large area you can ride bikes on unless you want to ride on the road. So we're gonna go ahead and just tour Yosemite. Alright, so I just finished swimming in the Merced River and it was super nice after a day of biking around Yosemite. We ended up having the bikes starting from 10 and then we took a lunch break, and I ended up riding 2 loops around the Valley Loop Trail for the bike path. It was still super fun though because it was a slower pace than driving, so I could see a lot of stuff. It was just cool to see parts that I hadn't seen before. So now we're kind of going to head over to Yosemite Village to kind of check out the stores and also check out what food options we have, because as we found out yesterday, by the time you line up for food, it's going to take another 40 minutes to get food. So we're not super hungry right now, but we're probably just going to end up eating. So I'm heading over to find my friend and then we're going to go eat. Dinner at the Base Camp Cafe. It looks good. Super expensive, but looks good. Hi, good morning. It is Thursday, day 4 of 5 of our Yosemite trip, and I am at the Bridalveil Creek Campground. We just had breakfast and we're just getting ready to do our hike today. Today we're doing it's a loop trail. We're going to start from the trailhead for Sentinel Dome, go to Taft Point, come back a little bit, and then go to Roosevelt Point, around back to Sentinel Point, go to Sentinel Point if we feel like it, and then come back down and just round back out the hike. It should be a pretty easy-ish hike compared to everything else that we've done. It's a 5-mile hike. It's high elevation, but we've been staying up here at like 7,000 feet elevation. I've been feeling a little bit of the altitude sickness, but not terrible. I know when I'm like strenuously exercising, I kind of get that acid refluxy thing again. So hopefully that won't be too bad today. And I'm just retying my shoes and getting ready, just enjoying the view. Let me show you. This is the view from our campsite. It's a pretty quiet campsite. So I made a clothesline for stuff. There's my tent. Here's the food locker and our water supply. You'll notice our campsite's actually pretty overgrown. This spot that I put my tent on, the grass already got flattened by another camper. And then there's kind of these stumps in the middle that I'm just using for storage, like extra tables. And then this here is actually part of the driveway, but there's a kind of a rock protrusion. You can actually kind of see it from here on the driveway, and I kind of like started driving my car over it, and it went like because the bottom carriage, the undercarriage was actually hitting the rock. So I opted to park on the side here instead. There's like a little empty patch, but over there is the boundary of the campsite, so it's just a lot of overgrown grass. I guess there's a creek behind there somewhere. It's Bridalveil Creek Campground, but I don't actually see a creek. And then yesterday we actually saw a deer. I was like at the food locker over here putting stuff away in the dark, and then I saw like a pair of eyes shining back at me, and I swear to God I thought it was a bear. I know it was just a deer kind of eating the overgrown grass around me, so that's good. We actually did see a bear yesterday. It was like a young juvenile bear based on the size. I was meeting up with my friend at one of the bus stop number 17 near the Mirror Lake area, and there's like a bear kind of just in the wild. And according to the ranger, it was probably just gathering raspberries. So we're glad that, no altercation happened with the bear. We made a lot of noise and the bear kind of just like went on its way. So that's good. Even though it was like full of people, because there was probably at least like 7, 8 other people just around the trail in the area, because we were yelling bear and they were like, oh no. So yeah, everybody's safe. That's good. Yeah, that's the plan so far today, is just to do the Sentinel, Taft Point, Roosevelt Point, Sentinel Dome loop, and then maybe we'll check out Glacier Point, and then we'll probably come back to the campsite for lunch because we're staying in the Glacier Point Road area at least in the morning, and then we'll see what we want to do. I probably have to drive to Wawona to get gas, just to make sure the car is full of gas so we can go to places, because we're staying up here in Bridalveil Creek, we have to drive down to the valley to do anything, and the last 2 days have been, well, 3 days have been like driving down to the valley a lot. So that's the plan today. The weather's good, hopefully it doesn't get too hot, and we're staying up here in elevation, so it shouldn't be, hopefully it's a little bit cooler than yesterday. Alright, so this is the Roosevelt Point area. It's not a summit because you actually have to come down a little bit, but you can see there's these dramatic drops and lots of photo opportunities. This area is kind of like flat. Up there's where we came from. The trail drops off here and then you actually come down. So we're just exploring the area right now. Again, I'm using my handy dandy umbrella. Super cool. Yeah, it's a pretty well-maintained trail so far. Although we do have to climb back up to the rest of the trail. So this is the first stop in our loop trail. It's very pretty. Alright, I'm gonna look around some more. The survey marker.
Oh, survey marker. I love survey markers.
This is the Taft Point overlook. Oh boy. Here's the other side of looking back.
Ooh, that's a ledge I'm not going on.
Yeah, that's a much more dicey wedge I'm not getting on. There's a lot of these outcroppings. So you gotta watch your step because sometimes you're like flat ground, gap. There's Taft Point with the little railing that we didn't lean on. I don't trust this as far as I can throw it. Alright, now we gotta go back up that thing. Dang it. So we're in one of the viewpoints on the hike and you can actually see the switchbacks in the middle going up to Upper Yosemite Falls. Hiked all that from the valley. It keeps going down, but we hiked all the way up that thing. It's a bear. It's a ginger bear. It's a ginger bear about to get eaten in the face. Turn it towards the camera. Ow. Now it's a camel. Cool. Oh, I feel like I'm in a movie set. Oh, there's a sign. Powder House Jail. Okay, so apparently this is a powder house, jail, and a morgue.
There's also, I was looking at the leg chains. I think there's chains like you can see in the
Oh my god. That's creepy. Okay, sorry ghosts. Bye, Gil, take care. We'll be back right now. Let's look at the, oh, it's the Wells Fargo Company Express. Yosemite Transportation. Oh, okay, there's like a little thing of historical building. Does the door open or I can't tell? No. Okay, can't go in. Stage office. Doesn't look like, aside from the morgue, you can't get into any other buildings, I guess. There's a second story in that one. That one over there. So yeah, I guess they relocated a number of these buildings from other places inside the park and put them together as like a historical area attraction. All of the buildings are closed except for the powder keg storage slash jailhouse slash morgue. I think we put that morgue last so people can go in while somebody else is reading it and then they're surprised. And then over there somewhere is a live horsey that we pet. Oh, this cool wagons. Farm wagon. Stagecoach. Mountain wagon? Somehow I doubt these could fit in some of the trails we hiked. A buckboard cabin. Oh, McGurk's Meadow. Maybe it's the same McGurk.
Yeah.
Chuck wagon.
That's where the food comes from.
That's actually a thing?
Yeah, so.
Cool. Spring wagon, also with a suspension, and it's got a little cover. A mosquito wagon.
Oh, did they spray pesticide?
To oil mosquito ponds. It's used in the Tulameen Meadows area. Ooh, here's the Yosemite Transportation Company ones. Galen Clark. 8-passenger wagon, I can read. Cool. So that was the Pioneer Yosemite History Center, a place of pioneers who so profoundly. So they just gathered a bunch of stuff and put it in here. It's like a historical museum place. Checking this place out to see if we can get dinner here. Ate some already. There's the dining room. Very cool. This is an all-you-can-eat buffet. My friend went to get seconds. I'm waiting until she comes back and then I'm gonna get seconds. I have a view of this cute little garden outside. It's cool. And then also the woods. Alright, some of the back side of the Wawona Hotel. That's where the bathrooms were. There's a bunch of cottages that are closed right now. I don't know if it's for COVID or refurbishing, but everything's super cute. I'm gonna come back when it's open so I can look through all the grounds, but right now it's all fenced off. So yeah, we're wrapping up the Yosemite trip. Tonight's our last night here, and I think I'm probably gonna go to bed early so I can see the sunrise tomorrow, because the last 2 days I haven't been able to make it because I was just too tired and decided on extra sleep instead of actually getting up early to go see the sunrise at Glacier Point. Also, the mountain roads are really scary. I don't know how they're gonna be at night. But yeah, we just had dinner at the Wawona Hotel and it was super delicious and it was cheaper than the Ahwahnee. One day I do want to eat at the Ahwahnee, but apparently this season you need a hotel reservation to get a dinner reservation. Whereas here it's just kind of walk in, so we just ate here and it's really good. Yeah, I'm sad I have to leave. I wish I could just like live here, but no, I gotta go back to work. Technically I still have another week off, but I need to go visit family. So this is gonna be the end of the trip. Tomorrow morning we might do like a quick meadow hike before packing up and leaving and driving back to Southern California. So yeah, it's been good so far. We did a baby unexpected surprise tour of the area. I guess they had a historical site and then there was like a horse and we got to like go visit the horse. That was fun too. Wawona Hotel fountains. Bone dry now. Cute structure though.
Yeah.
Right, I am on an evening hike to Westfall Meadows. It's a meadow that's near the campsite. It's not too far, should be less than a mile hike out on pretty flat terrain. Looks like it's on kind of like a service road, at least for the beginning before the actual trail part. And I think there might be like they were doing work on it earlier in the week. Right now it looks pretty empty. So my camping partner decided not to do this evening hike which is fine. We had a pretty rough hike at the beginning of the week, and then we did another hike with hill climbs today. So she opted to get some rest, and I needed to walk off some dinner, so I thought this might be a cool time to walk off dinner, check out the meadow that I might not be able to see again, because I guess you're not supposed to come and park in this part of the park unless you're staying at the campsite. And most of the time this campsite is a first come first serve, which is too dicey for me. Like, I wouldn't pick a first come first serve site, so I'm probably not going to be able to see this meadow again unless they do a longer hike and have this as an add-on. So I'm just gonna knock it out of the park today, check out the sites. Oh shoot, I should have brought bug spray. Sounds like there's some mosquitoes. I do have a mosquito net, so hopefully everything will work out. As usual, even with short hikes, I did bring a headlamp and also brought my puffy jacket because it does get cold. It is 7,000 feet elevation. So I've packed up all the stuff I needed. Told my friend that if I'm not back by 9 o'clock, then something went wrong. Call somebody. All right, so while I'm on this hike, that's wrapping up, oops, horse doo-doo. So yeah, while I'm on this hike, that's wrapping up the trip. I might do one more hike tomorrow morning, let's see. I do want to talk about how some of the other hikes went. All right, so as a recap, here's how the Upper Yosemite Falls hike went. It was a pretty strenuous hike. I think I probably did get some altitude sickness. Actually, I've been getting that kind of all week, so that's been kind of rough. But other than that, the heat wasn't bad because I had my umbrella, so I got the sun off my face and shoulders. It was just that I think the elevation and maybe kind of the stress of the driving wore me down a little bit. The ascent was okay. I thought we got to the top, and then my hiking partner ran out of water, so I had to go to the Upper Yosemite Falls Creek to get water near there. And because the map showed that there was kind of what you can call it, like backpacking sites, somehow I just assumed that the water would be easily accessible, which was not the case, because there's actually kind of a drop to get into where the water is, and you don't want to slip and get swept into the waterfall. Except I guess in this case it's okay because the water wasn't running very fast, and there's actually 2 pools that'll catch you before you like go off the falls. So I actually did a little bit of climbing, went down, retrieved some water, filtered it. So that was good. The hike back down was also tough. It was getting late. I was getting more of that altitude sickness going on. Overall, I was pretty beat up, but not as beat up as Mount Wilson, so it still felt pretty okay. So overall, I really liked the hike. The views were amazing. You really couldn't beat it. There were so many points where you could see right down into the valley. And we did another hike today, and we could actually see the switchbacks that we went up on. So that was pretty cool. And it's just like that's really kind of like the last hike I needed to do of the like signature Yosemite hikes. So I'm glad I was able to do that. I was glad able to do that with a friend, because it's fun, like hiking with somebody. You can talk to them. Yes, I do like solo hikes sometimes, but other times it's nice having somebody to talk to and suffer with, and then kind of talk about the experience with afterwards. So overall, would recommend. Good hike. All right, so I'm still on this hike to the meadow. I'm wondering if I passed the meadow because I was busy talking, and this trail is starting to get overgrown. I can still spot it, so I'm not that concerned, but maybe a little bit concerned. I'm gonna double check my map, make sure I know where I'm going. So this is the trail that I came from, and that's the trail to Westfall Meadows. I'm a little bit concerned. It's clearly still a path, but I guess it's not a very popular path. So I'm gonna go ahead and check it out. It looks like, oh boy, looks like this is a very popular horsey trail because there's a lot of horse poop. I'll have to make sure I clean my shoes before I go back. Also, the mosquitoes have come out. As I was standing there checking the map, the mosquitoes started swarming because there's like some water puddles. So I put my mosquito net on. I don't have my bug spray, but luckily I'm still wearing long sleeves, so it's just the hands I have to watch out for. Okay, I was not expecting an uphill climb. That looks like what's happening right now. Here's a uphill climb. This is not a very well marked trail. Maybe this is for horses. Man, I thought I was just doing a nice relaxing post-dinner stroll. It is apparently not the case. I mean, this is still a trail, so technically it's not cross country, but it kind of feels a little bit cross country. You know, I'm freaking myself out a little bit right now. I'm like in this trail by myself and there's not a lot of people, and I didn't bring my hiking poles. I just remember that there are bears here. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab one of these sticks, use it as a weapon or something, just in case. Just in case. Here's a good one. Okay. It's all right, got my defense stick in case I need it. Apparently bears are active here, so I probably shouldn't be hiking at dusk. Oh my god, am I gonna get missing 411? Hopefully not. Back to recapping how the Taft Point, Roosevelt Point, Sentinel Dome hike went today. Overall, it was pretty good. It was easier because the trail was much nicer, well maintained, even though there was like up and down climbs. It still felt a lot easier than the straight out and back Sentinel Dome hike, because the Sentinel Dome direct hike is kind of rocky. Also, this is my second time doing Sentinel Dome, and this time I had my trail runners, and it was a lot easier to climb up and down the granite, the last scramble up to Sentinel Dome, because it felt like my shoes gripped a lot better. So I actually did it without hiking poles this time, and it may also be I have a little bit more experience doing hikes now on rocky, tricky terrain, so I'm kind of more aware of what my limits are and what my capabilities are for doing rock scrambles. So overall, pretty enjoyable hike. And afterwards, we went back to Wawona to fill up on gas. Went to the store, I sent my mom and dad a postcard. Hi, Mom and Dad. And then we went to the Wawona Hotel and ate their buffet dinner. So it's a pretty nice day. Good way to wrap the hike. And then I'm doing a solo hike right now to Westfall Meadows. And I have a stick because I didn't bring my hiking poles. I didn't think it would be a climb. And it's not really a climb. It's a little bit, but I'm just kind of afraid of bears. They're active at dusk. And we actually did see a bear in this trip, which is why I'm just talking to myself really loud. So the bears know I'm here and everything's cool. I just wasn't expecting this trail to be this not used, because yeah, it really doesn't look like a lot of people use this trail because it's kind of hard to get to, and you can't really be on this side of Glacier Point Road with a car unless you are camping here. So yeah, pretty much have this forest all by myself, which is awesome and freaky at the same time, hence the stick. A lot of down trees in the way. This is the second one. Clearly this is still the path, but there's a tree in the way, so I gotta go over the tree. Wow, it really looks like the area took a lot of wind damage. Like it's another tree I have to climb over to continue on the trail. Not quite at the meadows yet. Almost there, according to the map. It's like just the right amount of overgrown that it doesn't feel like this is just a trail run, weekend trail run kind of thing. There's really a wildness to it because there's a lot of down trees, the path isn't very big, and you're just surrounded by nature. There's nobody else in sight. It really feels like an RPG where you're going across to find your next task that you have to do. So you're traveling between points and it's just forest. Okay, according to the map, I think this is it. This is Westfall Meadows. It's meadowy. It's less exciting than I thought it was going to be. Thought it was going to be like a really big open area. But yeah, I think we drove by some more interesting meadows. What this thing has going for it is that it's pretty remote. There's nobody else here. And basically, I've been karaokeing part of the way just to scare away bears. No bears, please. Please, please bears, stay away. I'm just here karaokeing by myself. All right, well, I guess this is where the trail ends for me. That is just one too many down trees for my liking. It's like not even easy to traverse. And I kind of came here to see what I wanted to see, which is this beautiful meadow. On the other hand, some parts of it really felt like tree junkyard because there were so many fallen trees. And it really says that the National Park Service does a really great job keeping and maintaining the trails that are more popular, because this is what a trail looks like when it's not maintained, you know, like top of the priority list in maintenance. Like, you know, nature heals, like trees fall, plants overgrow the path. So kudos to the National Park Service and all the volunteers for really keeping Yosemite and other and really all the other agencies that maintain trails. They do a really good job. I know I complain sometimes about like, oh my God, this trail is so hard to hike. But just imagining what the trail must look like when it's not maintained at all or just not maintained a lot, right? Nature kind of takes back and then it makes it even harder to do some of these hikes. So thanks for everybody who does that. It makes it possible for me to go out hiking. And so I think I'm just going to take a look around a little bit, but I don't want the sun to set before I head back because there were a couple of places where I had to go off trail to get around trees. So I'm just going to get a couple more shots here of the meadow and then I'm going to start heading back. I tried going this way because apparently there's a spring somewhere this way, but there's just no way I'm crossing that and coming back and not getting lost. Look at that, it's just trees, trees, trees. Oh, also I think I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes as we speak, so I think I'm gonna book it back. Yeah, overall impressions of this trip, I'm gonna miss Yosemite. I think 5 days was a good amount of time to spend at the park, but if I had to stay like 2 weeks, I think I'd do more hikes, do more longer hikes. But it was nice though, like we stayed an extra day compared to my last 2 trips here, and we got to check out some random stuff that we didn't see before, like the Yosemite Conservancy. They had a historical area for some of the old buildings here. So that was nice. We just happened upon that as we were looking for a bathroom near Wawona. And so that's been really great to see stuff like that I might not normally have planned to see. Because when we came for a 3-night, 4-day stay, everything was quite regimented. Wanted to fit in as many hikes as we could. And now that this is our 3rd time here, you know, I think I did all the hikes that I kind of wanted to do, but really kind of appreciated how vast the backcountry is. And I think at some point I want to backpack Yosemite because there's just a couple of those places that you're not going to be able to see unless you backpack and you're here for more than 1 day in the backcountry. So I might try that. It's also weird. I've been backpacking the last couple of times and adjusting to car camping. I was really hesitant about the amount of supplies I should bring, and turns out it was right. Like, when I went light on the packing of meals, and yet, you know, we still went out to eat, and so I still overgamed on the food somehow. I'm back at this tree, so I gotta go over that again to hop back on trail. So let me just do that before I continue my thoughts. So yeah, the trip I think is a very good practice for building up skills for new hikes and new camping adventures. Overall, I think I'm a better hiker now than when I started this season, which was when I decided to go to Joshua Tree for my random day hike, and then really started getting to know what other hikes were available in my area, and just got the experience on how to navigate terrain, how to prepare, what supplies to bring, how much water I need, how much food I need. I'm a better hiker now, but I have a lot of things I still need to learn. I mean, compared to when I first started camping a couple of years ago, I'm a lot more camping savvy, but there's like the next tier of things to learn, which is for backpacking, which I'm getting better at, but so far I've only done single overnight trips. Really hoping to up my skills and just become a better hiker generally. So yeah, I still have a lot of things to learn as a outdoor adventurer, and I want to learn them. I like learning new skills. Learning something new, when you're learning something new, you get this curiosity and spark, because there's something you don't know, and it's knowledge that you can feast on. So that's kind of like, I think overall that's kind of why I change hobbies like every couple of years. I used to be like really into writing, then I was really into art, then I was really into marathon running, triathlon, and now I'm doing this hiking, figure skating, and video editing. And I think it sounds like a completely unrelated chain of hobbies, but it really ties together, right? So the writing helps me tell a story. The art kind of makes me think about, is this visually pleasing, or is this narrative gonna hold people's interest, and what shots to take that people are gonna like watching. I get it, I'm still kind of an amateur, but follow my train of thought here. So those things combined with the endurance training of marathon running, and really triathlons for me was to get over my fear of swimming in open water, because the biking and the running, not a huge deal. I know how to do both, but the open water swimming really scared the crap out of me because it's hard with the surf, right? So all of those things combined, getting over the fear, the endurance, the artistic and narrative things, like all kind of combine, and it made sense to kind of lead to this, is long hikes in mountains, telling the story of how I'm going through it, what shots to take that you might like to see. Even if you don't care about my story, you get to see pretty stuff like this. So yeah, that's my train of thought about where I'm right now, learning as a human being at the end of my Yosemite trip. And I think every time I go on one of these trips, I learn something. Every time I go on a hike, I learn something. And I think it's just more impactful when I go on a multi-day trip, because it really pulls you out of your normal routine and forces you to try new things, adapt, talk to new people, and just grow as a person. See, here's the other thing about hikes. You're like stuck by yourself sometimes on these nature hikes, and you're in the middle of nowhere, and it's like you're talking to this therapist that doesn't even exist. Like, nature is your therapist. Kind of gets you to think about where you are and where you're going, evaluate how things are going in your life. Not gonna lie, there's some stuff that sucks right now, but I'll keep going, because there's always something new around the corner. So even if things suck right now, and I'm speaking from a point where, you know, I don't have to worry about a place to live or food to eat. So even if there's those like first world problems or work problems or relationship problems getting you down, you never know, something cool might happen tomorrow, next week, next month, the next minute. So I'm gonna wrap up that thought for now and go back to camp, and maybe I'll take a shower using my water bottle. I'm trying out like a lot of new tools and strategies for camping, and so that's one of the new things I'll try out. So heading back to camp now. It is 5:30 in the morning and I'm at Washburn Point to catch sunrise over Glacier Point, I guess. So I'm gonna set up camp here and catch the sunrise. Alright, so I just finished filming the sunrise at Washburn Point near Glacier Point, and I think I made it just in time to see the start of the sunrise, and then there was some clouds, so that was kind of in the way, and now the sun's like fully up and it's right behind me, so you don't see a glare, but you can still see Half Dome. And that took about an hour, so it was I was very glad I packed some food and my like a cup noodle and my stove. So I boiled some water, made some cup noodle, made a thing of green tea, and just sat there and watched. A couple of people came by, but otherwise right now there's another car in the parking lot, but I don't see anybody here. So I'm just here by myself at Washburn Point. It's just empty right now. And the sunrise gorgeous. It's my last day here in Yosemite, so I'm kind of bummed I have to go home, but it was fun. Okay, another car's pulling up right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and pack up everything. It's about 6:35 right now. I spent about an hour here, so I'm gonna drive back to camp so I can meet up with my friend, and then we can go hiking. And we are going to some meadow today. I forgot the name, but a meadow. So just a short hike, and then we're gonna pack and leave. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. So that is another Yosemite trip in the books. What I like the most about this trip is that we got to take things at a little bit more casual pace and see some things that you could see without having to do a 4-hour hike to get there first. The reason for that is I was building a trip in the back of my head where I could bring my mom to Yosemite and just drive her to places and do maybe short walks, and for her to get to enjoy how beautiful Yosemite is. I got to show her pictures and videos from my prior trips before, and even for this trip, but unfortunately she died of cancer about 2 months after this trip took place, so I'm not gonna get to bring her here like I had planned. But what I hope is that somewhere in the big dim sum restaurant in the sky, she gets to look down and be with me in a manner of speaking when I go on these trips in the future and get to understand just how great and how pretty, and just for me to share some of that experience with her. So I'm dedicating this video to her, even though she won't be here to watch the full video, just because wherever I go, I think about her. So that's all.